This caselet that I will be showing in front of your screen right now, it's a very good caselet. Take around 10 minutes and please try to solve and give the answers in one cluster. Thank you. Let's look at how we should approach this kind of a caselet. Sharad BCPB is a little wrong. The first one is wrong. Okay. So people who are looking for the correct answer. Acha guys, you can take a screenshot or you can take a photograph of this particular screen as well if you want to, practice it sometime later. Or you can write to us. We can provide you YouTube videos as well. So the correct answer for this question is just check your answers against it. So the first one is C, that is 99 to 2000. The second one will be earliest year this happened, it will be 98 to 99. Third one will be 170%, and fourth one is a very good question, that is 22%. Now our aim over here is to identify how to solve this question within 8 minutes. If you're able to do this, trust me, nobody can stop you from getting a 99 percentile in LRDI. Okay. So I hope you would have gotten your mistake somewhere, and this is the correct answer. You can take a screenshot or you can take a photograph of this particular thing. Keep your camera or your mobile phone ready as well. There will be some questions which I'll be just floating for you to take a screenshot or take a photograph. I will not be solving that. I will be giving you as a practice set. Okay. Now let's move ahead. Let's try to see how we can understand and solve this particular question. So just focus on the question, what they are saying. All of you would have read the question. This blue line in this graph is showing the number of students who secured admission as some percentage of the total number of students who applied for the exam. This pink line is telling me percentage growth over the previous year of number of students who secured admission. Okay, and this first graph is giving me an information which is like number of students who appeared for the exam as percentage of total number of students who applied for the exam. So guys, if I have to just simplify these two graphs, try to understand the graph first. If you can understand the graph, trust me, questions will not be difficult to answer. Okay, so let's try to see this graph in a different fashion. Can I say, if I'm drawing this circle as a Venn, or let's say it's a Venn circle, this circle is telling me people who, applied for the admission for CET, whatever examination is there. People who applied. Okay. Now you can see the first graph, it is showing me a number of people who appeared, a percentage of people who appeared as percentage of total number of students who applied. So can I say out of those many applied, like CAT ke liye every year, let's say 3 lakh students apply. Okay. But even you know that not everybody gives the exam. So appearing will be here. And this percentage is given to you. The relation between these two Venn diagram is given to you in the very first graph. Okay, I hope it is clear to you now. The third graph, the below graph, this graph is telling you that number of students who secured admission. Now secured admission as a percentage of total number of students who applied. This is applied and secured will be even less. Let's say CAT ka exam hai, 3 lakh students have applied, out of them 2 lakhs appeared, out of them the chosen ones went to IIMs, like this. This is the exact meaning of these two graphs. I hope you are able to understand this. So guys, if I go by the question, this is what I want to show you, which most of you would have done, and I'm hoping that few of the students whom I have interacted with should not have followed this particular method. But even if you are following, it's not wrong. Okay, in a CAT scenario, the only objective is to get the correct answers. Okay, in LRDI, time is not a constraint. You can take easily 10 to 15 minutes. So if you go solving about this question like this, like, because they have given you in the question, they have told you that you can see here that number of students who secured admission in 1993 to 1994 is 4,000. So if you take this 4,000 and start solving this particular question, that secured is 4,000. So in 1993 to 1994 they have given is 4,000, and you can see over here that percentage growth. This pink line is giving you a growth over the number of students who secured admission. So in 94 to 95, this number is 10%. It means from 4,000, it should have increased to 4,400 people who have secured admission, right? Cool. Then you would have seen here this pink line is going around 25%. So I should say 4,400 say there is an increase of 25%. People who are using ratios very smartly and percentages can very easily say that 25% is nothing but 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 ka increase has happened over what? Over 4,400. 4,400 का 1 by 4 क्या होता है? 1,100 होता है. So this will become 5,500. Okay. Then you will see that this pink line is over here, which is at 20%. 20% means 1 by 5, right? 20% means 1 by 5. So 5,500 में 1 by 5 you have to increase. When you increase that, it will become 6,600 very easily. Then 6,600 पे भी आपको यहाँ पे you have to increase 20%. When you do 20% का increment at 6,600, it means 1 by 5 का increment. It will be somewhere around 7,920, then 9,500, and then this one. Okay, this one 11,880. So guys, this is one way of making the table, okay, given looking at the given information. So this is the number of secured students which you saw how they are growing. They are growing as per the pink line. The pink line that is given in this particular graph. Now you know that what is applied, number of applied students. You can simply look over here that you can see over here the number of applied student. You can see this secured admission who applied for the exam. So students who secured admission, you have this data over here, that is 11,880 for the last year, that is 1999 to 2000. Okay, and this is nothing but the blue line is showing you that this is nothing but 10%. This value is 10%, and this, what is this? 10% is what? Secured people are 10% of the total number of students who applied for the exam. So this number is nothing but 10% of this number. So you can find out this number, which should be 11,880. One more zero you can put it over here, not an issue. Okay, it is all percentage. So exact values don't matter. I'll show you that in some time. Okay, so we can find out this applied figure using the blue line right now. Okay, and then what is appeared? Appeared you saw is the outermost, not outermost, right below, right under it. So appeared will be coming from here. Number of students who appeared for the exam as a percentage of the total number of students who applied. Now you can see in 1999 to 2000, last year, this number is 80. So 80 this number should be 80% of this number. Appearing students are 80% of applied. So you are able to find all these three curves that the three circles that I drew. Applied is the outermost circle. Appeared is the second circle inside. Secured admission is the third circle inside. So like this you can make the table in this particular question. I hope it is clear. So let's move ahead and see. What if I don't use the data given as 4,000? What if I simply assume that since it is all percentages, if both of the graphs are giving me percentages, so this exact absolute value does not matter. Does not matter because percentage changes does not get affected by absolute values. I hope you know this particular logic. So we can start with that. Let's say in the very first year, that is 94 to 95, 100 students. Let's say 100 students secured admission. If 100 students secured admission, then you can see that there will be a 10% growth. So let's say that this started with here 94 to 95, it started with 100. Okay, this time I'm simply saying that 94 to 95 started with 100. Now you can see that the next year it is a 25% growth. I have done a 25% growth. Next year again it is a 20% growth. I have done a 20% growth. 20% growth over 125 makes it 150. Okay, next year you can see again it is a 20% growth. I have done a 20% growth over here as well. Okay, Next year it is again a 20% growth, and 20% of 180 is nothing but 1 by 5, which is 36. Simply add 130, 180 plus 36. This will be 216. Calculation should be like this, fast and crisp. So this is 216, and then it is increasing by 25%. 25% means 1/4 of 216. 1/4 of 216 means 54. You will have to add to 216. It will come to 270. So this is the number that you have got, the relative number what you have got if you started from 100. Now if this is 270, you know that secured was 10% of, applied. You can see this is the blue line is giving you this relation between secured admission and applied for the exam. This is in the last year it is 10%. So this value comes out to be 2700. I hope it is clear. And here also you can see 100. This is 10,000. How this is 10,000? Because this line, blue line, is not visible over here because it is overlapping with the pink line. It is at 10%. So here it is 1,000. Like this, you can fill this table again. You don't have to deal with such bigger values. You will simply have to deal with smaller values. Okay. If you have understood this, the questions are very simple to solve. Okay. So now let's look at the question. If you look at the very first question, I have put it over here. Just focus here. In which year was the total number of students who applied for the exam the highest during the period 1994, 95 to 1999, 2000? You can see they are asking which of the number of students who applied was highest. Applied highest is not a brainer. It's a no brainer now. It is the last year only. It's the last year. Okay, that is 2700. You can see that from this table. You can see that from this table. Does not make any difference. Okay, so let's look at the next question. Next question is, in a certain year, students who secured admission in that year was more than twice of that in 1993-94. This table that we have made, if you have paid attention, this table we started from 94-95, right? And we assume that there would be some numbers in 93-94, 1 year prior, and 10% would have grown over this year, because you can see the graph very easily. This 10% growth would have happened, and we started simply from 100. We assumed this 94-95 year number to be 100. Okay, having that in mind, you can see this number was 100 and it is constantly growing. The moment it becomes 216, I can say definitely it has doubled up. Definitely it has doubled up. So which was the year in which the students who secured admission became twice of that in 1993-1994? This year was this year. And what was this year? It was 1998 to 1999, because the last year data is 1999 to 2000, that you know, because you have solved this question. So this year is 1998-1999. So your answer is correct, is C. Hope it is clear. Let's look at the next question. Next question was percentage increase in the number of students who secured admission from 1994 to 1999-2000. Basically, this is the table that they want us to refer again. You can see that initial value was 100, securing admission. It has grown up to 270. What is the increment? Final value by initial value. This is equal to 2.7. People who are a little bit smarter will simply say 170%. People who are going through the concepts right now will say, koi baat nahi, I'll use the formula. It is final value by initial value into 100. You will get 170% only. Okay, not an issue. Let's move forward. This last question is the toughest question of this caselet. Okay, now whenever a question like this comes, when you have done 3 of the questions very nicely, you are stuck over here, because compounded annual growth rate, it is CAGR. Many of you would have remembered some formula, I don't know what all things, but let's try to see if we can solve this question a little bit smartly and faster. Okay, because compounded annual growth rate, you know, it will be dealing with something like your compound interest formula, something like that will come into picture, right? So if you see over here what they're asking, that the compounded annual growth rate from 1994 to 1995 to 1999 to 2000 in the number of students who appeared for the exam is. Now, students who appeared for the exam, You have to find out that. First of all, we have to finish this particular table which we have left. Now, if you see here, this graph was giving us the relation between number of students who appeared for the exam as a percentage of total number of students who applied for the exam. Okay, guys. So applied in this year 1999, this year is 1999 2000. Applied is 2700, and you can see from this particular portion that people who appeared were 80% of 2700. Now guys, increase your calculation level. You can simply say 80% of 2700 is what? It should be around, you should simply subtract 1/5 of 2700. That is 20% from 2700 you should subtract off. It means 2700 minus 270 minus 270. You will subtract off. You will get 2160. So basically you got this particular value. It is 2160. This is the value that you have to focus on this particular question. And the very first value, that is 9495. What is the scenario here? Again 80%. So I can say it is 800. Very simple. 800 is 80% of 1000. You got the two extreme values. All you have to now say is what is this 800, or at what rate this 800 grown, so that how many years? Just count 94 to 99 2000. So it will be 1 2 3 4 5 6. So basically this is what you have to find out, the value of R over here. Now guys, to finding out the value of R over here, the fastest approach I would suggest for you is to be, you should start from the option. The very first option looks very much easy to me because it is 20%. Okay, so if you start from 20%, you can simply say that it is 800 into 1 plus 20 by 100, that is 1 plus 120 by, that is 6 by 5, or you can say it is 1.2 to the power 6. Now 1.2 to the power 6, I will have to, you can calculate again in two different ways. One way is using your calculator given on the screen, which is actually a time consuming method. Second is, you know the squares of 12. So 12 square is 144. So 1.2 square will be 1.44. Similarly, one more 1.2 square will be 1.44, again 1.44. These are the three numbers you have to multiply. You can take a little bit of approximation. You can say this 1.44 is equal to 1.4. You can do 1.4 into 1.4 is 14 ka square, which is 1.96 into 1.44. Since you had reduced this, again you can take approximation, make it equal to almost 2, and 1.4 you can make it equal to almost 1.5. 1.5 into 2 will be around 3. Now this should be less than 3 actually. Okay, this should be less than 3. So if it is less than 3, you are stuck between these two options now, because the answer will be either A or B. So either you use calculator and mark the exact answer, or you can take a call given the scenario in the exam. But if you take a call, I would go with Bombay. Bombay is the right answer for that. Because if you calculate using the exact calculation, you will get that with 20%, your answer will be lying somewhere around 1900 something. So the exact answer for this question comes out to be Bombay. How you have to do is using either approximation or calculator. That is the only way going forward.